What is going on, everybody? My name's Chris. Welcome to Bourbinsane. We're back today and we're going to be talking about another Willett product, Johhny Drum. This is a bourbon I'm actually a pretty big fan of. So this was one of the first bourbons I tried that was out of Kentucky. So originally when I made my trip to Kentucky a couple years back, this was a bottle I really wanted to pick up after doing some research and just reading up about it. And I'm glad I did. I like this bottle a lot. You can see it's halfway gone now. This is about, like I said, a couple-year-old bottle now. I didn't open it for maybe 6 to 8 months when I got back. But Johhny Drum comes out of Willett Distillery. Now, there's not much information about where it's from. It says it's made of older barrels. There's no age statement on this. It's most likely sourced, but undisclosed where it's sourced from. So older product, older stock, they say it's made from. And comes in at 101 proof. So very high, very respectable proof. You can see in the glass here, or in the bottle, it's very dark. This is actually charcoal mellowed. It says right on the side of the bottle. Interestingly enough, not, some bourbons are, some aren't. A lot of those Tennessee whiskeys will be. But a very, very nice product from Willett, and I figured this would be a good one we can talk about today. So let's look at the color here. Pretty dark on the glass. Sticking to the glass pretty well, actually. Nice medium to dark caramel color on this. This Johhny Drum used to actually have a 15-year age statement. That was removed, some years back now. But still Johhny Reserve private stock. And one interesting thing about this bottle before I get into the review, this is a wax top here. When I first got this bottle, I was trying to figure out so hard how to get this wax off and pop the cork. I was pulling on it like an idiot forever. It's a screw top. It's a screw top, so just beware, be warned. Word to the wise, it's a screw top. I'm not the only one who's been burned by this. I've talked to other bourbon drinkers who said the same thing. So let's go into the nose. As with a lot of Willett products, I get what I describe as kind of a bright cherry note. This actually leans more towards a fresh fruit, like a sour apple note to me, though, than a typical like old Bardstown Bottle and Bond or something like that. Lots of spice. Lots of nice baking spices come through on this. That juicy fruit, like I said, like a green sour apple, really is coming through on the nose. Again, as I mentioned, the cherry is there. Not maybe as the bottle's opened up, that bright cherry that I'll describe sometimes with other Willett products or even with like a Maker's Mark. It seems to have really mellowed, and it's just leaving a lot more of those great allspice baking spices. Even some peppery notes in here. Mash bill also on this is undisclosed, so we don't know mash bill either. Really good classic bourbon nose. It's got great spice on the nose. I just love that barrel spice, that barrel char that comes through. And you definitely pick that up on this bottle. Let's give it a sip here. Cheers. Pretty much everything on the nose really translates to the palate. Those very nice fruits. Even some kind of orange notes, that citrus with the apple. I'd even maybe describe a little bit of lemon peel in this. Kind of giving me that sour, bitter note a little bit. All the same spice though, the barrel spice, baking spices. Lots of brown sugar and nutmeg on this for me. The proof didn't really kick me in the face like I thought it would, 101 proof. And in times past, especially when I've had this bottle, it's been probably 4 or 5 months since I've tried this now. It gave me a lot of bite on the back of the palate. I think that spice just comes through, but not as much on the first sip here. Yeah, I would describe really that cherry note as completely gone on the palate now. I would. It's definitely more apple. Most definitely apple at this point. Apple, and then the barrel tannins. The caramely, burnt caramel barrel tannins are coming through great on the palate here. This is really a great whiskey, honestly. Let me go do one more sip before we wrap up. That's just so solid. All delicious baking spice, fruit notes. My palate, the way I am, I love big, bold barrel notes. Not as in like heavy oak where I'm licking a piece of like a barrel, but just the barrel spice, the barrel char, that's what I like. And then, you know, the burnt caramel notes in the fruit. I mean, when I say the fruit, I mean, there's different types of fruit. There's darker fruits, you know, like your stone fruits, where you get those richer, deeper notes. And there's brighter fruit like citrus. This kind of toes the line with both. You're getting both. Definitely seems like there's some older whiskey in here. It doesn't seem young, but it doesn't seem super old either. It kind of just toes the line with the bright fruits and the older, deeper, richer fruits, if you will, I guess. Leaning more towards, as I mentioned, those sour apple notes. But that's kind of the Willett profile for me anyway. That's my palate, though. I like those notes, all that. The barrel char, barrel tannins, and the fruit. I like that balance, you know. Baking spices. Baking spices are what I love. Apparently I just like all bourbon notes, I guess. You know, that's the way it is. Overall, Johhny Drum is an excellent value bourbon. $35 for this bottle. Distribution, I mean, in Michigan I can't get this. As I mentioned, I had to get this down in Kentucky. It was all over Kentucky, though. I could get it anytime I wanted to down in Kentucky. Other states, I'm sure they distribute to around the area as well. I just know it doesn't make its way this far up north. So if you're ever in the area or a state that does distribute it, for $35, it's worth it. You know, I'm a major fan of this bourbon. I think for the value, it's great. The proof is great. The specs on the bottle are great. Just be careful with that cap. It might take you a while to get it open. Thank you all so much for watching this review today. If you like these types of videos, please do hit that like button and that subscribe button. If you haven't already, make sure you check out my distillery series that I've recently been doing. I actually just talked about Willett Distillery, which is where this comes from. Did an incredible tour and tasting there, something I'll never forget. So if you haven't seen that yet, go check it out right now. Let me know down in the comment section below, what's your favorite Willett product? Do you have a favorite? Have you had Johhny Drum? And if so, what do you think of it? You agree with me, or you think it's just kind of meh? I want to hear what you have to say. I just want to give a quick shout out to my newest patron, Jeffrey Neal. Thank you so much for joining the Bourbinsane family. If you haven't already considered, please do check out my Patreon page. A lot of cool benefits and things going on over there. And if you want a way to support the channel, that's really the best way. I thank each and every one of my patrons. You don't know how much it means to me, the stuff I do because of you. Trips I've taken, like the recent trip to Texas. Just the list goes on and on. So thank you so much. I appreciate you all hanging out with me today. Stay insane, everyone.